Hey guys, I'm the Raging Phoenix here, and so today I'm gonna be talking about the 5x5. So this tutorial is about the 5x5 reduction method. In this, it's similar to the 4x4 reduction method where you form a centerpiece and the edges by matching the same colors together, such as like this. This is being taken as one edge piece, as all of them are of same color and they have been matched correctly. Before you start learning how to solve the 5x5, I would suggest you learn the 4x4 and the 3x3, as many of the algorithms which come from the 4x4 reduction method are in the 5x5 reduction. And as you know, in reduction you reduce it into a 3x3 cube so that you can solve it how you normally solve it, like a 3x3. So now, before we learn how to solve the 5x5, we need to learn its notations, as the including of one more layer other than the 4x4 one, it needs new algorithms. In this thing, you all already know, the outer layers are called the same thing which we'll normally call them on the 3x3 or the 4x4. So what if you want to represent this layer? This layer is a middle layer and is on the left side. So you'll write it as a small L instead of a big L which we'll normally write on the outer layers. This will be a small L. And now what about these two layers? So for these two layers we will not name it as T, but we'll name it as this is an LW. The W stands for wide, as it is more than just one thing and is wider. So this is the L wide. So L wide prime. And like this you can write the double notations. Now one more of the special notations is moving 3 layers. This notation can be given pretty similar to the 2-1, just written as 3RW. That means 3R wide, because it has 3 layers and it's a wide R. So this is the 3R wide and the 3R wide prime. Middle layers won't be used in this algorithms, so you don't need to learn it yet. So now we just need to scramble the cube up and then we can learn how to solve it. Now I've scrambled it up, but before I teach you how to solve the 5x5, I need to teach you its pieces. There are different kind of pieces such as corner pieces, center pieces, edge pieces, and these secondary center pieces. So you go with like this. There's a corner piece which will always be one piece and never needs to be matched with anything. There will be 8 of them around the cube. And now we need to go to the next step, which is the edge pieces. There is side edge pieces and center edge pieces. Pieces which go over here can never go to the side here. That means it is a center edge piece. As you see, as much as I try to rotate it around, this piece will always remain in the center. This is the center edge piece. And the edge pieces around it will be the side edge pieces. So once you're done with that, we need to go to the centerpieces. There will be one primary centerpiece which will never move out of its spot. And then there will be the secondary edge centerpieces. So the secondary centerpieces are the pieces over here. These pieces may never go over here, just like this may not go over here. This piece will never go over here and will always remain here, or here. So now once you are done with that, you only know these pieces. These pieces also cannot replace these, and they will always remain in these 4 corners in the centerpiece. So now after the solving of the 5x5, so it's a almost same way as you solve the 4x4 by reducing it to a 3x3. The same way you need to make one centerpiece, one edge, and like this you need to pair all of it to make it look like a 3x3. So now we need to make the white centerpiece. For the white centerpiece, we just, first things first, we make a line. This line, once it's done, we do the side line and then the second side line. And then once we are done with that, we can move on to the yellow, the orange, the red, the blue and the green. So now we have this piece and we need to make a white line. So to make the white line, we'll need one centerpiece and another centerpiece. So I've found one of them and then I can just move it up to make half the line. And then you can see I found another here, and then I can move these both like this to get it up to here. Once you're done with the line, we need to move on to the second line. We have this center edge piece and then we have this corner edge piece. So we need to pair this up to make half a line. It's not important you make it over here. You can make it down and later just insert it up to make the second line. So here, as we see, we can move this here and it's paired. So now we just need to find another one which is here. We can put this in here and then we are done with the second line. And now we can just rotate this like this and put the center line up. So now search for the next center line. So search for a white piece, this corner a centerpiece and these two pieces. So already half of the line is done. So we just need to bring it up. But if we bring this up over here, this thing will get messed. So for this, we need to move it from here up. So what we can do is we can put the empty space in its way. So when we move this up, it's all alright. There's nothing messed up on the top side. So we can move this away, as we'll have to move it away as it's all the same space. We can move this away. We can move it here, which when moved over here will come here like this. And now here comes a little twist. You, instead of putting it straight inside, in many of the things, if you do that, your other pieces will get messed up, and we don't want this to happen. Though it's alright to do it on the white side, it's not alright once you go to the next colors. So all you need to do is, we need to get a line in its way just like we do in the 4x4, and we need to put it up. We need to make it into a double line just like the 4x4. So this should be like this, so that we have one empty slot where we can just put that thing back in. So we move it away. So we put it in the way of the line, then we move it away from the way, and then we bring back the removed line. And now we are done with the white centerpiece. So now you just need to repeat this until you do the entire yellow side, then the blue side and the green side. The last two sides, there may be something of a little bit confusion, so you can wait until there. So now we need to make the last two sides. So what side do you choose? I choose the green side. So now we need to make the green center line. So this piece needs to go here. So I'll just keep it here and then I'll do a double move so that it can come here. Get it out of the way, which you'll normally do in the 4x4, and then it will come like this. So now we need to make the next line. So this piece is already over here, and what we can do is match it up with this center edge piece. So we can get this down, this matches, get this out of the way and get it back up. And now this piece is here. So we need to match it with this. So we can do a double down move. It's matched. Get it out of the way and move it 2 times up. And now we just need to move this line over here, which is simple. And now we are done with that. And now here comes the tricky part. Here you can't actually find somewhat of a way to match the pieces up. So instead, what do? You keep it over here. So this piece needs to go here, so you keep it here in the bottom right corner, and now we can do a double move. And now what you want to do is move this piece out of the way which you just brought in. Move it out of the way such that it's not affected by this, and now do a double move. It's not important you do a double move, but since we have done a double move to get it over here, do a double move. So once you're done a double move, you get this piece now back over here. We did a U prime before to remove it off, and then we get it back to its normal place. We do a double move to bring this piece back up. We move it over here, and then we do another double move to bring the pieces back. And here, as you see, the entire centerpiece formation has been done. So now the edge piece formation. The edge piece formation is pretty similar to what you'll do on a 4x4. So you find the edge with similar colors such as these, and now you need to put its middle one. So these two are already here, surprisingly, and now the middle one is here. So you can bring it over here. Be sure to keep it parallel, and if it's not parallel, you can just do the flipping algorithm which has already come in the 4x4. So now if you do this M move, this matches up, and then you just got to replace it with the unsolved edge, and then you're done with that. You just need to do this to all the edges until you reach the last two edges, where it gets a little complex. But before we get to the last two edges, what if you find something like this? It may not look solved. This centerpiece is actually flipped. So one of these pieces has been flipped. There's no worry in that. You just actually just put the piece correctly what you'll think you'll do normally on the 4x4 and the 5x5. You just take this piece, where's the green white piece, you search around the cube and you find it here. So once you have found it, you just get it here, and it's parallel as it needs to be here. So you just do your flipping algorithm. Now it's not parallel as this is here and this is here, and then you just do this move, and then it comes together. Though it may not look solved at this state, this is actually one of the parodies where you can use an algorithm very similar to the 4x4 parody case. So just flip it around with an unsolved edge and then move it. And like this, you just solve it like this, keep it like that, and later we'll solve it by doing the parity algorithm. So now we are on the last two edges. Get them on the same face, and we'll do the same thing we'll normally do on the 4x4. So we keep it parallel this time instead of not parallel, and then we do a UW move, not the T move as this is the 5x5, and then we do the flipping algorithm. And once we are done with the flipping algorithm, we do the reverse move, and then we are done with the last two edges. So now what about the parity algorithm that I talked about? As you see, these two, this edge is actually, these two side pieces have to be flipped around. These pieces are wrongly placed and now need to be flipped. This is the same thing you'll normally do in the 4x4 by the algorithm, and just with one new thing. So you do the same algorithm you'll normally do. Instead of T hours, you do instead of T hours, you do RW, and here it goes. RW, U2, move to the down, RW, U2, RW, U2, and now here comes the change. Instead of doing your normal RW prime U2, you do 3 RW prime instead of just once. 3 RW prime U2, LW prime U2, R W prime U2, then RW U2, RW prime U2, RW prime U2. And as you see, this thing is finally solved. But then, as we can see, there is another edge. So just do the same algorithm that you did before. So now, as you see, the cube looks exactly like a 3 by 3 and you solve it like a 3 by 3. In this thing, the 5 by 5, it does not have many parity algorithms. It has only one and is very simple to solve, as you don't even need to remember the color code, as there is permanent centerpieces. So here, as you see, I've solved the 5 by 5 like a 3 by 3 after doing the reduction method. The 5 by 5 is very similar to the 4 by 4 as it also goes through reduction method. Most of the algorithms are very same, the parity ones, and there are lesser ones and you don't need to remember the color scheme as they are permanent centerpieces. And the 5 by 5 can be a little confusing when you're doing the center formations, as it's you have to do this line, this line, this line, and it may take more time than you'll normally do on the 4 by 4. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this video and would have learned how to solve your 5 by 5 in a very easy and simple method, reducing the number of algorithms and increasing the intuitive method. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button, which will remind you of whenever I upload a new tutorial video.